I mean, you've scored on the first drive in the last 3 games. What's been going right in those opening drives?
I think scripted, just kind of having some of that stuff scripted and ready to go. I mean, that's something that we've done over the last few games, is scripting some of those openers, things that we wanted to get called in specific drives, and something that I need to continue to do throughout the game is in between drives. You get ideas and jot them down, but sometimes when you script an actual drive, it actually kind of clears things up for you as a play caller and just gives you confidence in exactly what you're going to call in the situations. And then obviously you get to your situational calls based on third down, red zone, things like that. But I think going into it, we tell the kids kind of what the openers are. We practice them, Thursday, Friday, and then go in the game Saturday and execute them. That's why probably, we've had some of that early success.
Can you script more than one drive?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, probably not prior to the game. It's more so after the first drive or two, you have some of those thoughts, but organizing those thoughts to almost a script within the game is something that I'm looking to probably do over the next game here.
When you look at how you guys are performing, is it as simple as you take away the turnovers and things are flowing better, or would you say there's more to it?
No, I mean, from an execution standpoint of their jobs, their responsibilities, and playing physical, there wasn't any issues there. I mean, you look at it, I think one turnover was on P&10 on the reverse. All right. The pick was on 1st and 10 after an earned first down. One of the fumbles was on 2nd and 8 where Josh got the first down and fumbled. And then Chris's, I believe, was on first down coming out of the half, right out of the second half. And so that if you add all that up, that's 12 plays. All right, if you only get 3 on each of those drives, that's 12 more plays that we left out there. At the least 12 plays. So that's hard to lose out on those possessions. And, you kind of get out of rhythm a little bit when you just keep turning the ball over. But I thought from an execution standpoint of playing physical and executing the game plan, we did a nice job of. But when you put the ball on the ground and give them those ops too many times, you're just going to lose too many possessions.
How do you make it a point, the turnover is a point of emphasis without it becoming a mental thing?
Yeah, I think it's on us. I don't know if you guys hear, we do obstacle course, we do ball security circuits. At the end of the day, it's players being players and making plays and being accountable. Like Coach Stoops says this term all the time, which I think is fantastic, is when you have the ball in your hands, you have the program in your hands. And it's that important. It's not just another play. And I think that trying to emphasize how important it is, especially when we get into these caliber games, we cannot give these teams extra possessions, and we're taking ourselves out of the game. So I think that those are some things that, they know. What are you going to tell them? Don't fumble. It's hard to just say it. It's about going out and doing it,
Time comes at the times ready to help out. What can he bring to the offense?
I'm just kind of waiting to see if those guys are 100% ready to go in terms of being eligible for us to play with the strength and conditioning and all those kind of things. Because, you can work out and lift and run, but game and practice shape is a lot different than just working out. So just trying to see in terms of availability what we have and what we have up this week and where he might fit, but we haven't made any of those decisions yet.
This program has had some success against Grantham defenses and the former office at various points. What do you see from his scheme and how you improve your scheme?
Aggressive. He likes to try to move the front a bunch. He gives you a ton of different looks in the back end from a coverage structure standpoint, specifically on third downs. As of right now, he's got about 15, 20 one-timer plays on third down. So it's hard to get a beat on exactly what the flavor of the week's going to be. He's very much a game plan oriented deal where it's not, hey, this is exactly what we're going to do each week. He gives different looks each week, which makes it harder to prepare for. It'll be a great challenge for us. I know Coach Grantham is an unbelievable coach, ton of respect for him and what he's done, but I do believe that some of the fronts and things that they present gives us a chance to be able to hopefully run the ball, be physical, and get after him a little bit.
Is his aggressiveness different than Wilkes's kind of style of aggressiveness?
Yes. Yeah, Wilkes was more of that man, but they didn't move the front much. Coach Grantham in Florida, they move almost like every play. They're trying to get to as many ways that they can to get to a jam front, which is a 5-down bear front. Trying to just create confusion and just movement inside. So practicing line movement, stunts, twists, pressures. It's not a high pressure team, but when they do, they're moving pretty good. They can rush the quarterback and get after you a little bit, but it's something that we have to be prepared for.
He's got the reputation of being a high-risk, high-reward coordinator, and some people have hit big plays on it. When you do your game plan, do you have to take that into effect, or do you want to? I got to worry about what we can do and not get too much into trying to exploit them.
It's a good mix. I think that you see them the last two games, really Alabama and Tennessee. They've sort of morphed their structure on defense from the first two games, from FAU and was it USF. They definitely showed some different looks over the last 2 weeks. Maybe not as much man as they had been playing, not as much quarters, and playing downhill with the safeties. They're playing a little bit more top down in some of their coverage structures, which needs, you got to be patient about taking the shots and being smart about when you do take some shots and making sure you can protect it as well at the same time. So it's a good balance.
You all didn't really connect on, I don't think, any these shots against South Carolina. Was that them scouting really good, or was it just missing the shots?
They played pretty deep in a lot of their coverage. That's why we were trying to just dink and dunk a little bit, and we called the one that wasn't really meant to go to Wandell that he threw the pick on. We were trying to just kind of take a look at the shot, but we had Josh coming in on an in cut there that we were trying to get accomplished, and we just forced the throw. And then when you get into a game that you're running the ball well, you're putting the ball on the ground, so as any play caller I would think would probably be a little bit nervous about putting the ball in the air as much and just putting the ball in harm's way when they really couldn't stop the run at that point in the game. So why put ourselves in harm's way when even though we were turning it over, I never really felt like we were out of control. And that was the good thing about just being able to be consistent with the run game. And we made some play action throws. Really the ones that point out to me is out of the second half when we hit Wandell on the sideline, then we hit Wandell over the middle on a couple good completions that just kept the defense a little bit more balanced.
Obviously, you're not scouting their defense or their offense, but they hold the ball a lot, they run the ball a lot. How does that change the way you approach a game as a play caller?
You got to stay patient, I think, and that's something that just trying to maintain that consistency of, all right, they're going to hold it. We know they have to run the ball. They run the ball for a heck of a lot of yards per game. They do a great job scheming things up. They have really good players on offense, so it's more so for us, it's like, all right, let's do what we do, be us, but hey, let's just be smart about, picking our times to be able to be aggressive so that we don't put the defense back on the field.
Do you have to do anything special when it kind of sounds like it's going to be a low snap game for both teams? Mm-hmm. You alter the thinking at all?
I think it goes back and forth. Like you can play with a little bit of tempo. You go 3 and out real fast when you go fast, and that's just not a fun place to be and put your defense in that situation. So I think trying to mix up some tempos throughout the game to get them on their heels a little bit when you do have a little bit of momentum, trying to use some tempo and just try to get them off their heels, get them off their toes a little bit, get them on their heels playing, try to get them downhill to maybe create some explosives that way.
Obviously, you're ridiculously busy now, but your former team thought that all of a start. Have you had a chance to watch them? And are there things when you watch them that you can pick up from what Sean's doing?
Oh, totally. Yeah, totally. I mean, each week communicate, talk to Sean after all of our games, all their games, and so happy for those guys and what they're doing, and so many good friends and such a good organization. To see them have the success they're having right now is so good to see. And each week we watch all their stuff. We show their film to our players like every Friday. In terms of it's not just about them. These are similar concepts. Here's how we can find the details and get everything sharp of plays that we run on game day. So it's been really nice to see them have the success and for us to have the ability to watch that tape.
Does that help the players a lot, being able to see that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, every time that we've done that type of deal, you do see improvement in details. They see those guys run the same plays and they want to do it. That we're striving. The standard is that. I mean, I don't care that they're in the NFL. That's the standard, and that's what we're trying to get accomplished. And the guys that really do care and see the things the way that they're supposed to be seen, take those details and put it into their own game.
You send him a text and say, "Why are you using my wheel?"
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Was that the same play that scored?
Yeah, it was the same play, essentially. I mean, it was just a little bit of a different action, but it was essentially the same thing, you know. So, they did some really good things. Cooper's just a stud. He does some smartest play.
Talk about Isaiah Cummings. How he's been doing, what he brings to it.
Yeah, Isaiah played his tail off last week, man. He really played hard and physical. You saw him pulling around on some of those runs there, and just doing some good things for us, giving us some flexibility, and also taking reps. I mean, that's a big deal when you're trying. You got 1 and 6 at receiver. You can supplement some guys with 84 with Isaiah, doing some good things, and just the more he plays, the more he gets more confidence. You saw him have some emotion throughout the game, which was great to see. And he was just out there having fun and playing fast. And the more reps he gets, the more confidence he gets, the better offense will be.